This pains me to say this as a Manchester United fan, but Liverpool are legitimately on the verge of another dynasty. Their second dynasty, by the way, for since United have been asked, we're just being honest. And I'll explain why. They have quietly had one of like the busiest, most impactful off seasons we've seen from a big club in recent memory. Right? If you rewind the clock a little bit, Liverpool are coming off what was probably one of their most prolific periods, one of their most prolific eras in club history. 9 seasons with Jurgen Klopp, let's say a decade with Jurgen Klopp at the helm, and he's turned them into one of the best teams in the world. Right? This is a team that won the Premier League, won the Champions League, FA Cup, Super, everything, Club World Cup. They won it all, right? During Man City's dominance and the peak of Man City and Pep Guardiola, everything like that, Liverpool was the only team that could not only be on the pitch with them, but actually beat them, right? And actually give them a run for the money. And that was the game that every Premier League fan, every football fan was trying to tune in to watch to see how the next few months were going to go because that was some real bragging rights between those two teams, right? Liverpool from about like 2018 to 2020, like that was their peak powers, and that was when they were like head and shoulders above every other team in the world. You look at the start of last season, this is their first year without Jurgen Klopp. This is a guy that's been so integral to Liverpool's DNA and everything good about the club. This is their first time without him. They're going into this season with all due respect, a relatively unknown manager in Arne Slot who just came from Feyenoord. Um, and I feel like everyone was kind of, whether or not people want to admit it or not, close the years, Arsenal fans. This was supposed to be your year. That was supposed to be Arsenal's year. Arsenal were supposed to quiet down all the haters, supposed to put all the doubters in check and show everyone, yeah, we're legit. We can go and win. We don't have a soft underbelly, everything like that. We can go and win. That didn't happen. What ended up happening was Liverpool actually won the league by 10 points, comfortably by 10 points. They led at one point during the season as much as 15 points with 4 games in hand. Right? That was dominance. And like, I don't think no one thought City was going to take that big of a leap back. And like I said, Arsenal, this was supposed to be your guys' year. You fast forward to now, this offseason. Yes, you lose Trent Alexander-Arnold. That hurts. But then you go and bring in Jeremy Frimpong, and then you go and bring in Milos Kerkez on the flanks. Andy Robertson's also getting old on that left side. Now your fullbacks are set. You're good. They fit the timeline. They're young, right? You lose Luis Diaz, yes, but then you go win the race for Florian Wirtz. You sign a top world prospect in Ekitike, and you might be getting Alexander Isak also. So what are we doing, right? Not to mention, there was a lot of discussion throughout the course of last season that it could have been potentially like, what people say is the last dance for Liverpool, right? Because Trent was already kind of on his way out, and people didn't know what they were going to do with Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk. They re-signed both of them, right? You lock both of them down, your best defender of all time, and one of, if not your best forwards of all time. You guys are set. There is no reason why Liverpool can't go on next season and do this all over again and challenge for Europe and do it the year after that and the year after that and so on and so forth. Because this team, you took a title winning side and got better because of it. And I'm not trying to put that kind of expectation on a club, especially when you're in a top league. Obviously, the Premier League is very difficult to win, but what excuses do they have? Right? What excuses do you have to not go and win? I'll give you excuses for the first month of the season where it's like, oh, well, they have to learn how to play together and yada yada yada, whatever. That's it. That's all I'm giving you for real because you were already a good team and you got better on top of that. They have the younger piece. You have Cody Gakpo. You have Konate. You have all these. Allison Becker is still there also. You have the bones, the structure of a title-winning team, and you got better from it. The question that I have in the back of my mind when it comes to all this, and whether or not people are thinking the same thing, because it wasn't as noisy of a transfer window, like I said before, is all this gonna hit? Is it all gonna stick? And is this actually all gonna work out? Or is it going to be reminiscent to what we saw with PSG back in 2020, 2021 or so? Right when they went out and they went and signed Lionel Messi, they went and signed Sergio Ramos, Donnarumma, Hakimi, Wijnaldum at the time also. That was like the Avengers damn near coming together for PSG, and that was supposed to be the team that was gonna lift them to European dominance that much earlier. Obviously, they ended up winning anyways, not necessarily because of that transfer window, right? Donnarumma was still there. Nuno Mendes was a part of that as well. That came in. Hakimi, of course, obviously. But in general, that transfer window, that small period of time, that was a flop, right? Is this going to be the same thing with Liverpool? I don't know. I don't know if expectations are going to be as high. Mind you, they're going to be higher now if I'm saying stuff like this and I'm pushing this agenda. But that's something I've been thinking in my head. You let me know what you think, but that's just my take.